Hello everybody, welcome back to the sessions on power electronics by Ramana. This is the 29th session in this series, and in this session we are going to discuss the topic of power quality and power supplies under the unit title Applications of Power Electronic Circuits in our curriculum. But before going to actually all those things, once again we will just go back to our syllabus and curriculum framework and go through the details of what we have covered so far and and what we will continue to discuss. This is our power electronics subject. Uh, Up to the last session, that is 28th session, we have covered 5 units of this course, CO1 to CO5, and that is particularly in the last 4 sessions we have discussed the aspects of applications of power electronic converters under unit 5 with the course objective of apply the power electronic drives for speed control of DC AC motors and compare specific power electronic drives. In fact, in those sessions also we have discussed that actually in the first 4 units we have learned the basics of power electronic devices, their characteristics, their turn on and turn off, and then we have used those power electronic devices to realize different power electronic conversions, AC to DC, DC to AC, AC to AC, and also DC to DC in the next 3 units, that is 2, 3 and 4. And after learning all these things in the first 4 units, in the remaining 2 units, that is 5 and 6, the main applications we are going to discuss. In the 5th unit we have discussed the applications of the power electronics. In fact, in terms of power electronic converters actually, that is mainly we have discussed the aspects of applications of power electronic converters, that is rectifiers, choppers, inverters, etc. for the control of power electronic drives, that is or speed control of the particular prime movers which may be used in those power electronic drives, which may be again DC or AC motors. So the 5th unit comprised of the application of power electronic converters actually, and that ended with the last session. From this session we will be discussing particularly the applications of power electronic devices to design or to use different types of circuits for specific applications. So the course objective of the 6th unit is to apply power electronic circuits for specific applications. They are the actual things which we are going to discuss. So that is applications of power electronic circuits. These are the course contents given, and when we go to the specific objectives from 6.1 to 6.17 are listed out them. All these are the applications of power electronic circuits for specific applications where they will be used for different purposes and also different specified purposes, general purposes and specified purposes. To start with, the first aspect is list any 6 applications of power electronic circuits. The first thing which comes in mind into our minds is these things are already discussed. That is electronics of power. Applications of power electronics. Yes, applications of power electronics are abundant, which we have discussed for various fields. Here we will be specifically discussing the applications of power electronic circuits which we can design to suit to the given requirements of a particular purpose. And likewise, we will be discussing all the other applications. Uh, so we will go back to our PPTs again to start with. In fact, the particular topic power quality and power supply is a big topic, and many concepts are to be cleared before entering into the next aspects. So actually these things are discussed in elaborate in two sessions, in fact 29th and 30th. In this 29th we will be discussing half of our, mainly we will be focusing our concentration on power quality and some aspects of the power supplies. In the previous session where the 5th unit ended, we have discussed the applications of power electronic converters in forms of speed control of DC-AC motors in that unit. In the last session, which was the last topic, we have discussed the speed control of particularly three-phase induction motors by AC voltage controllers or regulators. Single phase was also discussed, but in the syllabus only speed control of three-phase induction motors is there, by that too by only AC voltage controllers or regulators. Other aspects were not there. And other basic definitions of AC drives, their advantages, disadvantages, likewise, all those things were discussed in the previous session. Which are the applications of AC to AC converters? That is AC voltage controllers, or you can also call them as AC choppers. And when it comes to the objectives of present session, actually power quality and power supplies, these objectives are to be discussed in two sessions. Actually in the following two sessions we will be discussing power electronic application circuits, power quality characteristics, types of disturbances in utility power and power supplies, devices used to suppress spikes in power supply voltages, types and their drawbacks of linear power supplies. They are categorized like that. We will be mainly discussing the first three aspects in the time slot given for this session. And to proceed with, just first we will go through the specific applications of power electronic application circuits. Again, to categorize the application circuits of power electronics, they depend on actually they are not dependent, loads are dependent. To be operated in a particular fashion to suit to the load requirements, we can design any power electronic circuit. So the needs or requirements are particularly a protection requirement, a power supply requirement to suit to the load voltages and currents, and also maybe backup, and specific applications. So for all these things we have to design power electronic circuits in different fashion by implementing all that we have studied in the previous units. That is right from the basics and characteristics of power electronic devices, turn on, turn off, and also power conversion methods. When it comes to the protection part, power system protection, basically these power electronic circuits are designed to protect the given power system. Again, this power system can be the utility system, or even inside a system, it may be even a system which we have set up for our own premises. There can also be this protection be used. So this system protection can be done by the aid of what are called as crowbars and circuit breakers. Crowbars and circuit breakers. So circuit breakers, crowbars, these protections we will be discussing later. The second one, that is power supplies. These are the things which we are going to discuss first. Then we will be discussing the protection aspects, or lastly we will be discussing the specific applications. When it comes to power supplies, what do you mean by power supply? Power supply, it can be understood as this power supplied from the utility or company like DISCOM, that is a distribution company, or it can be an intermediary power supply between the load, which may be DC or AC, and the single phase or three phase incoming voltages we have in our domestic or commercial purpose or whatever. So these power supplies are divided into, again, UPS and SMPS. These things we already know the full forms and also their utilities. We will be discussing their working and operations and designs. UPS is your uninterrupted power supply. SMPS is your switched mode power supply. And when it comes to specific applications, these are the applications to which we will specifically design our circuits. Solar controlled street light, battery charger, emergency lamp, light dimmer and power control, burglar alarm, water level indicators. All these circuits can also be designed for lesser ratings by simple electronic equipment also, devices also. But when it comes to power frequency things, we have to have more ratings. We have to use power electronic devices. And again, in these applications, we will be mainly discussing emergency lamp, light dimmer and power control and burglar alarm circuits in the syllabus. The most commonly used applications is battery charger. Unknowingly or knowingly, in our daily life we will be using these battery chargers, may it be for automobiles, may it be for mobile phones, may it be for laptops or anything. Likewise, so these are the power electronic application circuits which we have to design to suit to the application specifically. And the first aspect which we are going to concentrate is power supplies. But before going into actual UPS and SMPS, there are a lot many things which we have to discuss. Just we will go through them. So first thing which comes into our mind is quality of power or power quality. Quality of power or power quality. So what do you mean by quality of power? What is power? That is electrical power. Electrical power we get to run our loads from the service mains for our domestic purpose via the control board or panel board or meter installed in our premises. May it be again for domestic, commercial or industrial or agriculture, any load. So what do you mean by the quality of power? Obviously, to have proper performance of the load, lighting or power loads or motors and other equipment, electronic equipment, the voltage, particularly the voltage and frequency, should be constant so that load will operate satisfactorily. And apart from these things, being a consumer, what we discuss or what we expect is, first thing is we want continuous power supply without any interruption and without any fluctuations. If there are fluctuations in the voltage and frequency, obviously the load performance will get affected. Speed control, when it comes to using appliances or industrial motors, drives, power electronic drives, speed control cannot be achieved properly. So what the basic needs are as listed over here. Power supply is a basic need of power consumers which should provide the desired speed control of drives, continuous light without flickering. Obviously, when it comes to the lighting load, there should not be any flickering, and desired and satisfactory operation of any load, not only drives or light loads, any load for their satisfactory operation, the proper quality power should be supplied by the utility or company. So to meet these requirements, power supply system should provide output voltage, particularly that is what the current depends on the load and load impedances and power factors, all those things. Basically, when it comes to single phase voltage, that should be 230 volts always, irrespective of the load, whether it is no load or half or full load, or even if it for some overload for some duration. And also the other thing is frequency should be constant. For our nation it is 50 Hz. So power supply system, that is utility system, for our systems it is DISCOM or distribution company. As far as the consumers are concerned, power supply system is distribution company. When it comes to a simple electronic circuit which we are supplying by using some other power supplies which are designed to give required voltage and currents at different frequencies in between the actual source and actual, that is single phase or three phase source by the utility and the load, they are our power supplies. Even those power supplies should also provide output voltage with constant magnitude and frequency. So power supply system should provide output voltage with constant magnitude and frequency, that too without any fluctuations in magnitude and phase. Without any fluctuations in magnitude and phase. So that these things are achieved. So that is the aspect of power quality and the things which are to be followed by any power supply system. In fact, we call them as control engineers or power engineers. The prime motto of any power quality control engineer or power engineer is to provide output voltage with constant magnitude and frequency and without any fluctuations in magnitude and phase, always irrespective of the load conditions, that is no load or later loads or half load or full load, whatever. So these are the aspects of power quality which we have to understand and keep in our mind. Further, again we can list out these things. To maintain this power quality, power supply companies have to maintain the following power quality characteristics. So these are the power quality characteristics which are to be maintained by the control engineers. Constant magnitude of voltage, constant frequency 50 Hz, balanced three-phase supply, pure sinusoidal waveform, no transients or spikes. First two things we can understand. When it comes to the third one, balanced three-phase supply. What do you mean by balanced three-phase supply? It comes from the fact that not all the loads are three-phase. Most of the domestic loads are single phase. Even for commercial and industrial also, lighting load, even some power loads are also single phase. For domestic, three phase is very less. Commercial, it may be more. For industrial, it may be even more. So to have balanced load on the generating stations or transmitting substations or even our distribution substations or even our distribution transformer which is installed in our street side distribution transformer. The single phase loads should also be evenly distributed over all the three phases so that at least there will be some balance on the transformer secondary. So balanced three phase supply should always be achieved. It cannot be 100%, but there should be some balance. There should not be very uneven distribution of currents. Pure sinusoidal waveform. What we expect is pure sinusoidal, that is 50 Hz, point not 2 seconds time period or point not 1 second for a half cycle. It should be in a perfect sinusoid shape, which is not always possible. Because of the fifth point and some more points, there should not be no transients or spikes. So these are the power quality characteristics required to be maintained. These things we will discuss again in detail. So why these characteristics cannot be maintained as they should be is because of what are called as disturbances. Disturbances in power supply due to load conditions, which may be internal or external, or again the problems within the power supply system, or again problems from the external sources like environment. So disturbance is a deviation from actual values of voltage and frequency. These are the main things which we have to maintain constant at their actual values. So it is a deviation from actual values of voltage and frequency for various internal as well as or and external reasons. So this deviation may sometime happen because of both at a time, internal and external, or individually, separately, likewise. So it is nothing but a deviation from the actual values of voltage and frequency. It can also be called as, one more thing which we have to understand is that disturbance. A disturbance in the power system can occur for short as well as long duration. That is, these disturbances can occur and prevail in the system for short periods, maybe for milliseconds to seconds, or we can say in terms of some number of cycles of the supply, that is waveforms, supply voltage waveforms, or as well as long duration. They may exist for longer duration also, even for some days. In such cases, the total supply system will be shut down. So a disturbance is a deviation from the actual values of voltage and frequency, and it can occur for short and also long durations. And the disturbances we face or come across in regular maintenance of the power supply systems are voltage deviation, frequency deviation. So what are the name given? Just understand there are two terms over here: voltage deviation, voltage spikes. We will go to this one later. And these two are called as deviations. Deviations are not sudden deviations, or what you call sudden, it is not very high increase in the actual values. It is deviation which is permissible in certain limits of tolerance. Voltage deviation, just take the case that if you want your single phase voltage to be 230 volts, due to these disturbances there may be voltage deviation again for smaller duration or longer duration. For some time it may be 240 volts or 231 volts, or even lower voltage, that is 220 volts, 210 volts or 225 volts. It can be anything. So it is not like it abruptly increases and stays there for a very short time. It is a deviation which continues for longer times. That we will be discussing. So, likewise, frequency deviation. Voltage spikes. Voltage spikes are sudden increase in the magnitude of the voltage which lasts for shorter times. Harmonics. Harmonics may be present in during the generation and transmission also, but mainly in here we are going to discuss due to the switching on and off of loads which are mainly harmonic generated and non-linear loads. Chopped distorted voltage. This is due to the operation of the power conversion equipments, electromagnetic interference, EMI, and power outage and blackout. These things we are going to discuss in detail. Actually, in the syllabus, the detailed studies are not there, but as these concepts are very important and to be understood before proceeding to the other things, we are taking our own time to discuss these things. Otherwise, you will be mainly asked to answer like what are the characteristics of power quality, what are the needs of power quality, or what is the disturbance, types of disturbances, and the devices used to decrease voltage spikes likewise. When it comes to the first disturbance, that is voltage deviation, low voltage and over voltage, where supply voltage is less than the nominal voltage or actual voltage. That is for single phase. If the nominal voltage is 230 volts, supply voltage will be less than 230 volts and it lasts for longer durations basically. And this is a result of poorly maintained distribution system experiences low voltage during the peak hours. Peak hours means those hours of the day, those times of the day and night from 0 to 24 hours where maximum load will be connected or consumed from the supply. When it comes to commercial, during the evenings from 6 to 9 it will be maximum. For domestic it will be maximum during morning 7 to 9. Agriculture loads normally during the nights they will be maximum like. So over the power supply system during the peak hours loads will be maximum. So we have to do something to set the transformer secondaries to increase the secondary tappings so that even though the load is maximum, the voltage will not fall below the nominal voltage. That is done by your regulating transformers which you have discussed in your power system protection and control, and also in power system calculations also those things will be discussed. But what happens due to this low voltage is it experiences low voltage and load performance deteriorates obviously. When it comes to low voltage means lights will flicker or lights will become dim, a motor rotates at lesser speeds, vibrations will occur likewise. But also the other thing is over voltage where supply voltage will be greater than the nominal voltage. Over voltage for few cycles, just follow this thing, few cycles, that is if it is 2 cycles means 0.04 seconds, that is 4 milliseconds. 40 milliseconds. Like if it is some 3-4 cycles means it is around 80 to 120 milliseconds. Again it is actually a greater time, a longer time. Over voltage for a few cycles is not a serious problem, but for longer duration it damages the equipment. Which equipment? Load. Particularly domestic equipment, electronic equipment, they get burnt out. You might have heard all these things. Due to over voltage, there was a burnout on all the equipment, including of TVs and refrigerators in a particular household have burnt. It results due to over voltage. Excuse me. Next is frequency deviation. This is another bad quality of a poorly maintained power supply. It highly affects the performance of AC motors. Obviously, AC motors, single phase or three phase AC motors, the permissible limits for proper frequencies plus or minus 5% only for any AC drive to be operated satisfactorily, that is AC motors. 5% of 50 Hz is for our single, it is 47.5 Hz if it falls below the nominal value, above it is 52.5%. That is, again, even the rugged most AC motors like squirrel cage induction motors may operate satisfactorily within those limits, but as the frequency deviates from the actual value of 50 Hz, then vibrations will occur, their operation, their performance gets highly affected. Torque will go down, and particularly the magnetic field setup will decrease, so less torque will be developed likewise. Not only that thing, flickering of lights will be there. Flickering of lights will also be there for lighting equipment. Frequency deviation. So this is the permissible limit, but when it comes to the generating station, basically the alternator control panels, those those permissible limits are only 0.5 Hz. That is, the control engineers in the power stations, generating stations, their goal is to maintain the frequency within 49.5 to 50.5 Hz only, and it differs from stage to stage. So frequency deviation is also a big disturbance which affects the performance of the loads drastically. These things have to be eliminated, and these problems should care should be taken such that these problems should not occur. The other one is voltage spikes. These are the things which we are going to discuss elaborately in the next session, probably. Voltage spikes. To control or to eliminate these spikes, we will be using many devices. They are that is the topic which we are going to discuss later. So when it comes to voltage spikes, just shown in this waveform diagram, voltage spikes and transients are shown by the arrows like this. When you observe this particular spike, it is nothing but sudden and high rise in magnitude of the voltage, and it falls back to the normal value. But when it comes to the other value which is shown over here, this is a sudden rise to very high value, and again it is falling below the actual value also. That is, this is an oscillatory spike or oscillations. These are also called as dips and sags. Dips and sags. So voltage spikes can be only higher spikes. They can also be transients like oscillations. Because of these things, the actual voltage waveforms gets affected. It is a sharp voltage pulse. It is a sharp voltage pulse superimposed over supply voltage that exists for a short period of time. Again, It is for short period of time only, and these spikes should not continue for longer duration in any supply. It is mainly due to switching transient voltage of circuit breakers or lightning strokes. Switching transient voltage means circuit breakers. Whenever a circuit breaker trips, there is a sudden rise in the voltage as closed circuit has been opened. So voltage increases abruptly, sharply. That is an internal disturbance due to internal reason. Lightning strokes from the environment or skies. When a lightning falls, lightning occurs, again there will be a high discharge of power or energy, so voltage spikes will occur. But as these are for small duration, they affect the shape of the waveform. The other aspect is harmonics. Harmonics, as the name indicates, which you have already gone through even from your school level. These are the high frequency components when compared to the actual wave frequency. It may be in sound waves or optical, or that is light waves, or also in electrical power waves. Here are shown in this left region fundamental or first harmonic. Just think that this is the actual sinusoidal voltage you want. Actual voltage, it is also, or actual waveform is also called as first harmonic or fundamental. Second harmonic means its frequency is twice the original frequency. So when the actual waveform completes one full cycle, second harmonic completes two full cycles. Likewise, third harmonic completes three cycles, fourth harmonic completes four cycles, fifth harmonic, seventh harmonic, likewise. And all the harmonics are divided into odd and even harmonics. Odd and even harmonics. That is, even harmonics means where the frequency of the harmonic is multiple of the first harmonic or fundamental with even number 2, 4, 6 like. And these even harmonics get cancelled out due to the symmetricity of the wave. It is the third and fifth and seventh like, that is odd harmonics, which we have to focus our concentration, which will adversely affect the shape of the waveform and also performance of the equipment. In this region, these waveforms show the effect of harmonics on the output voltage waveform. The same fundamental is shown like over here in this color. Here in this figure, the blue dotted line is your fundamental or supply voltage. This green dotted line is your harmonic. So this is second harmonic, which is completing two full cycles in the same time as one full cycle of the original waveform. So because of this second harmonic, the actual waveform will change its shape like this. The next one is third harmonic. Green waveform is completing three full cycles. Blue is the original, and this brown one is your output again, of which the shape is changing totally like this. This is fourth harmonic. Green completing four full cycles, due to which the actual waveform is affected, which is shown with these brown lines. And when all these harmonics exist in the actual waveform along with the fundamental at the same time, the output waveform will have again a different shape, which adversely affects. But something can be done to eliminate them. Supply voltage waveform is distorted due to the odd and even harmonics of higher order. Even order harmonics cancel out due to the symmetricity of the waveform. Active and passive filters are used to eliminate the harmonics. Which harmonics? Now the odd harmonics. These are the filters which we have discussed in basic electronic circuits, L and C filters. And these harmonics are due to non-linear loads of bulk consumers, where the loads will be computers, printers, UPS, SFBS, electronic bulbs, CFL vapor lamps, variable speed drives. These are the actual loads which generate harmonics. Due to their switching, due to their operation, harmonics will be generated. So this is another diagram showing the net effect which I have mentioned few seconds back. Here is shown only odd harmonics, even harmonics are nullified. The red line shows the actual, that is fundamental output voltage. Third harmonic, light one, white one, 3 full cycles. Fifth harmonic, blue, 5 full cycles. Seventh harmonic, violet, is 7 full cycles. So in this output voltage, all these harmonics, that is 3, 5, 7, all are existing at the same time. Eventually the resultant shape of the voltage waveform is like this, which is shown with yellow line. So instead of the sinusoidal shape, it is almost giving as if it were nearer to a square shape or rectangular shape. That is the problem with the harmonics. And again, when you observe the 3, 5 and 7 are the, as frequency goes on increasing, see the magnitude or amplitude of the waves. High frequency waves have less amplitude, whereas less frequency, that is in the harmonics, that is third harmonic which with white line, it has higher magnitudes. So third harmonics have higher magnitudes which will adversely affect the shape of the voltage waveform and also the performance of the load. So we have to do something to eliminate the third harmonics. They have to be compulsorily eliminated, and in most of the cases that will be done by passive and active filters. Fifth harmonic and seventh harmonic, they will have to be filtered according to the need. Third harmonic should compulsorily be eliminated owing to its high magnitude. Other higher orders harmonics are the distortions present in the wave, which should be eliminated according to the requirement. So this is something about harmonics. Chopped distorted voltage is the next type of disturbance which we are going to discuss. As go back to the choppers, where we will be chopping the actual supply voltage into small number of pieces, that is DC chopper. AC chopper is nothing but AC to AC converter or AC voltage regulator or AC voltage converter, where we will be operating the converters with phase control technique. And again, in that due to that, the actual waveform which is shown with blue line over here will be changing its shape into different things. Soft clipping is shown with this brownish lines, that is it is still nearer to sinusoidal wave, but magnitude has been decreased, so or some value has been chopped off or cut off magnitude from the magnitude. With red line it is shown as hard clipping, that is most of the portion from the actual magnitude has been cut off and it is taking almost as if a trapezoidal or trapezium type of shape. So due to chopped distorted voltage, again the shape of the waveform gets affected. Here again it is shown with the blue line input signal. When positive half, only positive half is clipped but not negative half is clipped. So base level increases but the magnitude will be chopped off, whereas negative is chopped off, it goes down. So likewise, not only the shape the level of the waveform will also be shifting. That is, reference level of the waveform will also be shifting. So, and this sharp distorted voltage will result due to the switching and reswitching of supply voltage. Continuous switching and reswitching of supply voltage once or repeatedly, or chopping. Chopping is what we have discussed, that is AC to AC chopping. These things cause distortion in the waveform. Again, due to this, operation of the load gets deteriorated, so we have to nullify this effect, sharp distorted voltage. Again, it is shown the waveform where some portion of the waveform is cut off during this duration only. So, voltage waveform is chopped. The causes for chopped distorted voltage is thyristor based phase control of load voltage. Just I have mentioned it is phase control technique. High frequency AC voltage chopping for cycloconverters, electric arc furnaces, welding transformers. Both of these equipment suddenly act as very low impedance when they discharge high currents and arc in the form of arcs and currents. So voltage will be distorted highly. So these are the causes for sharp distorted voltage. Electromagnetic interference. It is a high frequency noise in the supply line due to lighting, switching of power network. It is a high frequency noise in the supply line. Noise is not in the form of sound. That is disturbance in the supply line. It is shown in the form of waveforms due to lighting or switching of power network. Switching of high frequency power converters, lightning, voltage spikes for spark plug of automobiles. So wherever high discharge of current will be there, but owing to the reactance in the power supply or power system network or converters or the load itself, due to the reactances, they will be offering opposition to the change in voltage, and they develop their own magnetic field. They interfere with the actual supply. This is prevalent in the case where communication lines and power supply lines are run side by side. Even though there are no disturbances in the power supply, due to the power supply frequency, electromagnetic and electrostatic interference effects will be seen in communication lines. That is not the aspect of this thing, but similar sort of things will be resulting due to these things in the power network. That is your electromagnetic interference. Power outage and blackout. Power outage is the failure or disconnection of power for a short period of time. This is not due to any load thing or any power supply system. It may be for maintenance, even it may be for damage, it may be for uh, uh, connecting or disconnection, that is LCs, what we call as line clears. During those events, the power supply will be shut down by control engineers or electrical engineers themselves for maintenance or service purposes. So power outage is the failure or disconnection of power for a short period of time. Due to the problems, when we disconnect it, it is a failure. For maintenance and repair and service, it is disconnection of power. But it is for a short period of time, maybe for some minutes, few minutes to tens of minutes. Blackout is the failure of power for a few hours to several hours due to a purely maintained utility. When very big problems occur, and again due to floods, some system may collapse, towers may go down, poles may go down, transformer may get damaged, or even generation may not be possible. So because of that, the power to a particular street or locality or a colony or a town or a village or even a district or a state. Sometimes it may occur in India. It occurs a long time ago to some 14 years back. That was around in 2006. That was somewhere around 2006 to 8. Blackout occurred in India, but our control engineers were efficient to establish back it in uh, after some hours, maybe half day or now, which was less than a full day, which was a record all over the globe actually. Blackout is the failure of power for a few hours to several hours due to purely maintained utility. It may be a failure due to external reasons. So that is power outage and blackout. So these are the actual disturbances which may occur in the power system, which we have discussed in the name of power outage and blackout, electromagnetic interference, chopped distorted voltage, harmonics, voltage spikes, frequency deviation, and voltage deviation. So these are the disturbances which may occur in the utility power supply or in any power supply, and these we have to design our circuits, protection circuits and operation circuits such that these disturbances will be as less as possible, so that the output voltage waveform from the power supply will be a perfect sinusoid at the given magnitude and frequency. So that is the things we have discussed in this session, and these are the things which we are mainly going to concentrate, that is voltage spikes, in our next session. That is the devices used to suppress these voltage spikes so that wave shape becomes normal. Those voltage spikes and the other power supply equipments we will be discussing in the next session. With these disturbances in the power supply, we will end this session. To continue our discussion in the next session, that is the 30th session, with the continuation topic of devices used to suppress the supply voltage spikes, as listed in the slide: isolation transformers, metal oxide varistors, snubber circuits, and transformers as voltage regulators or regulating transformers. Thank you.